let's simplify the Dragbat at Town Hall 12 and how you can use it for easy 3 stars here in 2021. What's up, my friends? My name's Corrupt. The Dragbat is one of the most consistent and best dragon attacks at Town Hall 12. I haven't made a video on this in 10 months, so it was about time that I update how you guys can use it here in 2021. Let's start with base identification, mainly starting off with sweepers. If you notice that there is a sweeper pointed in the direction of you sending in your dragons, you mainly want to use the lightning spells to take care of it. Now, of course, you want to look at splash buildings. You mainly want to try and go in for those wizard towers, eagle, and the multi-target inferno. You've also got the use of the battle blimp to take down the town hall from the opposite side of the base. So you want to start with the lightning spells. This is going to be enough to get rid of the sweeper, and then you want to start off creating your funnel on 2 sides. One side is going to be with your Barbarian King and maybe an Ice Golem, so you're able to move in for the Eagle, and in this case, he's using the Archer Queen and a Giant on the other side. More of a split hero. You don't always have to do this. You can use your Barbarian King and Archer Queen together and bring in Electro Dragon. Now, being able to work your way through, dealing with the enemy CC, in this case, we're dealing with a Super Minion CC, is incredibly important. And in this case, we don't have another poison spell for them. So you do need to kind of think about how to fix the attack up. Unfortunately, the king won't be able to get to the eagle, so you're going to have to make do with that by sending your dragons, balloons, and your Grand Warden. Now, if you're going to be dealing with super minions, it's really not that difficult, especially with the dragons. They're going to be able to overpower them since the super minions don't really have a lot of health and they don't do much damage to dragons. So being able to start working your way into the base and making it so much easier, what you want to do is you want to use your rage spell early on in the base, or at least towards the core, especially if you're only bringing one of them. So being able to use the rage spell to push your dragons into something like a multi or single inferno, and using the Grand Warden ability allows you to get the blimp all the way over to the town hall. This is where you have yetis to get rid of it. Now you want to start with your bat spells. You're going to use a bat wave. You're going to use them on the outside of the base and start working themselves around it. You can bring in the use of the free spells on the wizard towers, multi-infernos, but the main thing is starting off with the use of the bat spells. You can even bring the use of an Ice Golem to tank for some of the bats as they start to work themselves around. Being able to tank on top of a wizard tower while it's still within range is exactly what you want to do, so you make it a little bit easier on yourself and you save free spells. Like in this case here, he still has another freeze they can use, but the one shot from the bats takes down the final wizard tower. That's pretty much how you want to consider it. So bringing in Ice Golem is a great option for you. Of course, there are also other great options, like bringing in a Lava Hound for your dragons in order to start moving your way through. And you could also bring in the use of the Stone Slammer, though that's a little bit more situational. Overall, this can be used really well. Even a swag Grand Warden was used, which you'll see coming up in the next example, but you can even use it without a Grand Warden, which I did in a future attack that you'll see in this video. Now, sometimes you can get a large amount of value with your heroes and your dragons. The idea is that you want to create one side of the funnel, taking advantage of something like the Eagle Artillery being in a bad spot that you can easily take advantage of with your Barbarian King, and then also creating the other side of the funnel with the Archer Queen allows you to send your dragons in for something like, in this case, 3 multi-infernos, and also going all the way towards the back end. And since some of those expos, like in this case here, are on ground only, you always want to take advantage of this. Overall, you mainly want to start with the King and Archer Queen. You can bring the lightning spells to deal with something like sweepers in this case, since they're placed in pretty much close proximity to each other. So bringing the lightning spells is actually a really good idea because it can allow you to not even worry about sweepers. So you want to be able to make sure, like I've mentioned, to create the funnel. Taking advantage of the builder's mistakes is exactly what you want to do as an attacker. That you're creating the funnel and making it a lot easier for everything as you start to work your way through. Sometimes you could use that early poison spell to take care of the enemy CC while you start to move your way through. Dealing with something like a super minion CC very early with the witch, using that poison early to hold them in place place for longer allows you to deal with them very easily. That way you're able to send in your dragons and your balloons. Remember that you're looking for an area where you're able to get a majority of splash. So you're also able to use the rage spell to get through the core of the base and start to push your dragons in. Now you've got the battle blimp, and there's going to be a lot that goes on here. So you got the battle blimp moving the way across the base. Now you can also start your bats. Notice the use of the Ice Golem where the wizard tower is. That allows you to start with the bat spells and working themselves down towards where that town hall is, saving a free spell, which is incredibly good. And being able to use another Ice Golem to tank for the bats is another really important thing, being able to start working your way through with the bat spells. And in this case, if you notice, the Grand Warden still has his ability. The bats are going to be able to easily work their way through, being able to use them on cleanup, and he has 2 free spells that he doesn't need, and he has a Grand Warden ability. This is why you really don't need heroes with this attack strategy. You don't even need the Grand Warden. The Blimp will secure the 2-star, and you could actually swag your Warden, you can swag your free spells. It is really, really strong. And just to show that this was pretty much, you didn't even need the Grand Warden in this case, let's also talk about how you can use this for this more spread out base. Now, how do you deal with a more spread out base? This is one of the bigger things that you have to deal with because not all bases are going to have concentrated splash. So you want to mainly look at the closest area that will give you a good amount of splash. Of course, you do want to try and get the Eagle Artillery, and this can be done with either your dragons or you can use your Sui hero. In order to get rid of an entire section like this, you're going to use your heroes to create the funnel. A super wall breaker to open up the wall, and that allows your heroes to get rid of the Eagle Artillery and Wizard Tower. Pretty much that is how simple I can make it in terms of making sure that you're able to understand. So you always want to start by creating the funnel for your heroes. So bringing sneaky goblins or baby dragons is a great choice as you're able to work through. Now, another option that you do have in terms of bringing something with your Sui hero is an Ice Golem. You can bring the Ice Golem mostly because it's going to survive a lot of shots and you're going to be able to allow it to tank for just your heroes, and when it dies, you've got that freeze. So it allows you to have a lot more coverage and you're able to start working your way through into the base. Now at this point, you also want to create the other side of the funnel so you're able to have a good enough funnel with the dragon and baby dragon in order to kind of control something like this so you can push your way in. Now the attacker's only bringing 1 rage, so you're not going to use the rage spell early on like you've seen in the previous example, but this one you're going to be using it in the core. Same thing with the Grand Warden ability. You want to be able to work your way in and using the rage spell to get into the core of the base and power through the core where that multi-inferno is allows you to start moving your way into the base and a bit more seamless. Now you've also got the use of the battle blimp on the back end. This is better when you hold the battle blimp because there really isn't that much damage around there, and even if there was a Seeking Air Mine, it really wouldn't pose nearly as much of a threat. So being able to use the blimp and holding onto it for the back end gives more value, and you can use sneaky goblins, like in this case here, to get rid of the town hall. Of course, they're going to die from the Giga Bomb, but you can then go ahead and start your bats. Now, while you're using this attack, make sure that you use free spells on stuff like a lot of point defenses, like Expos and air defenses together, or Wizard Towers and multi-infernos together. You could even bring an Ice Golem if you want to tank for a Wizard Tower. Usually it will do nothing on a multi-inferno, but the idea is to get as much freeze value from it. So being able to use the leftover free spells on splash buildings like this allows you to get a lot more from the base. And the Ice Golem here was kind of a waste, but the idea is you want to make sure that you are getting the most from each troop that you bring. So the Ice Golem could have been better off using on an outer side Wizard Tower if there was one. Overall, you mainly just want to think about those things as you start to use it, but having that max dragon in the clan castle really does a lot of work, and it can allow you to still get the triple quite easily with the use of the Dragbat. So in order to prove that this works with no Grand Warden, I actually tested this, and unfortunately, I only got a 98% 2-star, but it's really strong in how much I was able to get. Of course, this is versus single Infernos, probably the best mode to use this on, but you can still use it versus multis that you saw in the previous example. So being able to create their funnel, mainly the idea here was to create two sides of the funnel. One was over here on this side with an E-Drag, and the other side with my heroes. The idea was for me to go in for this spot right here. Wizard Towers and Eagle Galore. I wanted to go in for that spot. So being able to use my king over here, queen over here, this creates enough of a funnel, and while I'm able to work in that direction, I've got an easy lane for my dragons and my Lava Hound. Yes, I'm bringing a Lava Hound because that is going to go in for the core. Since one of them was taken down by the queen, I can use that rage spell early on for the dragons, and I've got the Lava Hound and the battle Blimp. This is enough to get myself into the core of the base to use the balloons and dragon riders. I honestly love using dragon riders with dragon attacks, and it allows you to get rid of them. Now, one of the biggest tips is use your bat spells away from your dragons. Do not, and I repeat, do not use them near your dragons, or else a red air bomb is going to smack down your bats. So you do want to be extremely careful with them. They're very fragile. So you want to be able to make sure that your bats do not go in with your dragons, or else you'll have something kind of like this. You don't want that. Now, another thing is, try to place your free spells a little bit better than I did. Look at this one. I don't even get anything except for the Inferno and Tesla, and that really didn't help my attack at all. And I could have saved another free spell for the dragons, unfortunately, or even the queen, but I was too late on it. So overall, that is what kind of costed me the entire attack, mostly because of my poor judgment in terms of free spells. But overall, I know you guys can do better than I can. That is an easy fix, and I bet you guys can make those similar adjustments. But look at that. I had to quit mostly because, but look at all of that health on that Expo. Overall, even though it was a 98% 2-star, you can still get the triple with this fairly easily without the Warden. What do you think about the Dragbat Attack Strategy? Let me know down in the comments below. Make sure to check out this video if you want another really strong dragon attack, the Zap Dragons, and make sure to subscribe to the channel and ring the bell, and I'll catch you in the next video. Corrupt, signing out.